time for a break. Grab a coffee, get comfy, and catch up with old friends. Join us for an easy chat on all the biggest news stories of the day on ICRT Breakdown, a bilingual 2030 policy program brought to you in cooperation with the National Development Council.
Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another great edition of ICRT's Breakdown, a fun, entertaining, and informative look at newsworthy topics and topical issues with interesting personalities, of course. And most importantly, you get to learn something new and exciting in English to enhance your skills at the same time. This broadcast, of course, is brought to you through the kind assistance of the National Development Council and the Bilingual 2030 campaign. I am one of your hosts, Tim Berge, and my other co-host is...
I am Paz Bueno. Hello, hello.
Yes. And Paz, I think we have two guests again with us today with a very interesting topic. Maybe you could share with the audience who our two guests are.
Of course. So joining us today is Uncle and Alan from 大叔愛輪事. They have a weekly podcast sharing the latest news and trends of the bicycling industry. So welcome, guys. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hey there.
Everyone.
Okay, so maybe we should start out with Uncle and Alan. Maybe tell us a little bit about your podcast and what makes it special.
Yeah, sure. It's my pleasure. I'm Alan, and I'm glad to be joining you today on the ICRT podcast. Since my high school days, ICRT has been my go-to stations for improving my English skill. And again, it's my honor to be here. And let me share with you about the podcast I'm involved in. The podcast title name is The Uncle and Alan. Yes, you guessed it. I'm Alan. And my co-host, Greg. He is the uncle. Because everyone will ask why his nickname is uncle. Because that Greg, he is my first boss. As I remember correctly, we met around 2004 when I was in graduate school. And again, he was my first boss. And our bond, our relationship has grown only over time. So it's more like we have over 20 years of relationships. And it's not just like employer and employee. It's more like a teacher and student relationship. And that it reminds me of Chinese proverbs. Once a teacher, forever a father. So I think
uncle, not father.
So I think Greg, this afternoon he should buy me a lunch. Okay, and let's back to the podcast. The ideas for our podcast was born around 2020, the end of 2020. A time when the world was suffered with the pandemic. And at that time, I have lost my job. And that during the pandemic, it's not easy to get a proper job. So one day, I proposed the idea to Greg. I say, how about let's start in a podcast? And that both of us, we are fond of cycling, and we can just focus the ideas with that no matter you are the professional cyclist, amateur cyclist, is a go-to channel that you can enjoy with our expertise and knowledge all about cycling. And fortunately, thanks again for our audience. And currently, we have 96 episodes. And if you would like to enjoy it, please subscribe to our podcast. 大家好，我是大叔爱人事的 Alan。那很开心呢，今天有这个机会透过 ICRT 跟大家做线上交流。那我们的节目呢是在2020年的9月份成立，非常感谢各位爱好自行车朋友们的支持。那如果说呢，对自行车有兴趣的朋友们，也帮我们订阅支持我们频道，谢谢大家。
All right, thank you. Oh, wow. Okay, so because Uncle, you guys have had such a long relationship, so you guys decided to start this podcast together, and because you both passionately love bicycling, you decided to, dive into it and do a podcast all about bicycling. So 因为对自行车对骑单车有兴趣，所以才一起开这个 podcast 嘛。But my first question for you guys is, what made you fall in love with bicycling? 怎么接触到就是骑单车、骑车呢？
I have a long history about cycling. I'm serving for a national team at around 89. So it's long history. I rode cycling about 40 years, I think.
Oh, wow.
So when I was junior, so I think nothing to do. I think it's challenging. So I started cycling, and cycling teach me a lot of things. It's like now it's my DNA. So I would love to share the everything about cycling to all the people.
Right. Okay. So you've been riding bicycles for, like, you mentioned 40 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have been joined 89 Asia Championships, 93 World Championships. 93 World Championships is a amateur race. I'm amateur group. The Lance Armstrong won the professional group. That's the year.
Cool. I'm kind of curious. I want to ask Uncle a question. So you've been biking for 4 decades. That's amazing. And I'm not quite a biker like you, but I have done trips from Taipei to Tainan and then Tainan back to Taipei. And I tell you, it's exhausting. And so how can you be biking? I cheated, but I won't tell you all the details. But how are you able to continue doing that? Because biking, it works your legs so much. Or do you have legs like this now? You know, like legs like watermelons or something like that.
For me, it's very easy. I hate running.
Okay.
So I love cycling.
That's not fair.
Yeah, running may be also good exercise. But for me, I think cycling can make me see more. So I can, at the same time, I can go further, like 1 hour 40K, then 2 hour 80K. So I can not only the neighbor, and I think it's a childhood memory. So when I first time I learned how to ride bicycles very late at junior high school. So other childhood friends, they already know how to ride bicycle. You know, it's like status. You know how to ride bicycle. You have higher status. You are 有车阶级. You are bicycle owner. So that I learned very late. So that's made me feel when I ride bicycle, I feel very happy. So I can see any place I want.
And I think you brought up a good point too, is that biking gives you a chance to see the scenery of Taiwan, unlike any other way of traveling. You know, it's not like the train or by car. You really can see things up close and maybe go on some roads that you can't maybe with your car. So, and I know many foreign friends love coming to Taiwan and just do the cycling because it is an amazing place to cycle.
Yes, it is. Most I know the foreigner they like to go to Hualien because Hualien I think the best scenery place to see
it is beautiful.
Taiwan Taroko Gorge and many place and many local indigenous place. So I think that's also good bike touring place.
Yeah, cool. That's right. And don't forget that in Taiwan, we have more than 100 of the high mountains. The altitude is more than 3,000. And the Hehuan Mountains, Mountain Wulins, like last Saturday, that is a big event. So, you know, lots of the foreigners, not only the foreigner, but also the Taiwan cyclists, we enjoy the mountain climbing. And we have enjoyed the KOM, the King of Mountains. We want to conquer every mountains in Taiwan. And I will guarantee you, if you ride up to the mountain, you will experience the different beauty of the Taiwan landscape. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, don't go to Tainan, go to Hualien. Next time.
So today we've asked Uncle and Alan to join us in talking about the 110th edition of the Tour de France, which kicks off on Saturday, July 1st this year. So the event happening this month is an annual bicycle race, usually held in France, though it does occasionally pass by nearby countries as well. And for today, we'll be learning about this prestigious cycling event, and we'll learn about the challenges and what exactly the cyclists are trying to win in this year's event.
Yes, for sure. Every year, July is biggest month for cycling. In cycling, it's biggest month, July. So everyone look forward to Tour de France. The Tour de France became so special because it started in 1903. It's the longest history race, the Grand Tour race. So every year we only have 3 Grand Tour race: the Tour of Italy, Tour de France, and the Tour of Spain. But Tour de France, July is a summertime for Europe, so everyone focus the race. Everyone enjoy the big race in the summertime. So also the highest, biggest honor for each rider. So that's why every rider prepare this so much. So every spectator look forward for look the big race.
Okay, so the race this year is going to start in the border of northern Spain. So to my knowledge, I don't know much about bicycling. I mean, I do have a bicycle, but I don't cycle as much as you guys, I'm sure. But I know that every year the track changes. So is there any particular reason? I mean, of course, aside from the challenge, but like, how does the Tour de France or how do the organizers choose where they're going to begin? Like, why does the track change every year?
Yes, because the long history before the Tour de France always start in France, but recent 2 decades, I think, more international. So they always have they call Grand Depart. So actually, should be 1 year outside of France and 1 year at France. But this year, last year in Denmark, Copenhagen. So this year, I think it's not too far, at least at the nearby. So it's Spain, but it's border. So the Grand Pass. So every city they want to more spectator and like scenery reason to make more people to know their city. So they would love to pay the big budget to the organizer. Say, okay, you start from here and then we make big event. I think a few more years ago is London or UK, they pay a lot money for make riders and the team spectators. They say it's a very good result to make people to know their cities. 就是环法赛，它其实每年有一个不成文的传统的规定，是一年会在这个法国本土，一年可能会在国外出发。那这个出发呢，多半都是各个城市会付一些预算来促进他们的观光，让更多的人看到他们的城市。像几年前的话，我印象中就是英国花了很多的钱，然后还有荷兰、比利时也都曾经花了不少的钱，然后让这个环法赛的起点跑到他们的城市，这样会吸引更多的观光客、更多的车队，所有的观众都会跑到这个城市去做消费。那之后来讲，也创造一些当地的一些经典的路线。
Okay, so the 2023 Tour de France will be made up of 22 teams, 18 World Tour teams, and 2 top-ranked second division teams, and 2 discretionary wildcard teams. What is a bicycling team? Can you please explain that for people who don't understand how a team works?
The bicycle team, we call the World Tour team, is like you can count like level 1. You can like a major league. If baseball, you have a major league, if a AAA, it's like different category. But in cycling, we have only 18 license for the level 1. It's called World Tour teams, and the World Tour teams have a responsibility to join every World Tour race, and but the organizers have some reason they can choose other 4 teams like a sponsor or originally rank doing good like a level 2 best team. Okay, they may have a chance to join the race. So that's the Grand Tour made and the most World Tour race. The organizers have a 4 white car and give to other teams, and the 18 teams is major teams to join the race.
Okay, so 他们的团队就是等于就是他们的分级啦。
对，就是像它比较复杂一点，有一点像 F1 就是有一些执照给特别的车队，他们就一定要参加，但是它又比它弹性就是更开放一些第2级的车队，或者是他们觉得就是外卡表现不错的车队。那有一些原因是因为这些外卡车队也有赞助比赛本身，所以会被选进去。
Okay, I see. How long the race is going to be. So the race is going to last around 23 days and have a total of 21 stages. So that's about 1 stage per day. And then there are 2 rest days in the schedule as well. So the course changes every year, but it always ends in Paris as well. So it always ends at Champs-Élysées as the name. In France, it's the champion, right? Like for the champion. So it always ends at the Champs-Élysées.
Yes, the race is across 3 weeks. So every Grand Tour, as I mentioned, we have only 3 Grand Tour race, is 2 of Italy, 2 de France, and 2 of Spain. So only these 3 races can call Grand Tour because it's across 3 weeks. Like this year, 2 de France over 3,404 kilometers. So it's a very long race. So riders have to race start each stage. If you didn't finish one stage, you eliminate. So you cannot start next one. So, but we have a 2 race day. The race day 1 is after stage 9 because we start at the Saturday. After Saturday and Sunday and race whole week until the next Monday, you can rest 1 day. But this year, the road, if you see the map, it's like a race across France, right? Because we from the Bilbao and we cross the Pyrenees and the Middle Mountain and Alpes and 3 big ridges. So this year's race is mainly climbing. It's a big focus of this year.
One thing I find interesting is every year with the Tour de France, we talk about the yellow jersey. But what the heck is the yellow jersey all about? What does that mean? And who gets it? Do I get it?
Okay. Yeah. Yellow jersey is the general classification overall winner. We can say that in the Tour de France or the Grand Tour, we will have the 4 leader jersey. For example, the Tour de France, we have the yellow. That means the total of 21 stage who finished the time the shortest. With the shortest time, then you can get the yellow jerseys. But I think the audience or spectator, they wonder that why every stage the yellow jersey wearer will change. Because that's every day, it depends on the cyclist who finished the stage faster or slower. So the general classification will change. Then we will have the sprinter. So the sprinter is like a green jersey. Like during the stage, we will have intermediate sprint points. And if you get the points, the higher, then you can wear the green jersey. Then we will have the polka dot jersey. The polka dot jersey is with the pink dots. It means the king of mountains. That means that on the mountain finish or during the big mountain, they will have we call it the KOM point, king of mountain points. That means who can pass the first with the mountains, he can get maybe like a 10 score or the 6 score or 3 score. And who achieve the highest score, he can get the polka dot jersey. And the last one, last but not least, is the white jersey. White jersey is the, as I remember correctly, is the under 25.
Yeah, 25. Best young rider.
Yeah, it's another encouragement of the yellow jersey, but this is specific for under 25 age group. And then we will have another called the most competitive award. Yeah. It means that during the stage, maybe like 180 kilometers, although this courageous rider, he didn't finish the top 3, but he is a breakaway rider for 160 kilometers. And after the race, the judge will say, oh, this guy, he's so courageous, and we will need to award him with a very special prize. That's called the most competitive award.
Yeah, we also call the most aggressive rider, but this no jersey, but his bib number will become red. So in Tour de France, we have many traditional. 在比赛中呢，有4个颜色的衫是大家要注意的，就是黄衫嘛。黄衫就是总成绩时间最短的，因为它的是每天累积有21个站，每天把时间加起来，时间用最短的这个个人选手呢，就是黄衫，也就是整个主宰整个比赛的第1名。那还有就是绿衫，就是冲刺冠军，一般就是在中途有设一些冲刺点，然后还有平路的终点站有一些给比较高的冲刺积分，就是绿衫的积分，累积这些积分呢，要拿最高的，那他可以赢的这个绿衫。那另外就是有登山王，就是红点山，在每一个山头被评定有难度的山，我们有分4级、3级、2级、1级，然后到最高级就是叫超级。那这些不同的坡顶会给不同的积分，累积积分最多的选手呢，就会拿到穿上这件红点衫。然后还有一个就是白色衫，就是最佳年轻选手。那它的算法规则是跟黄衫一样，时间最短的，不过它需要是25岁以下哦，就是在自行车运动里面，25岁算年轻选手，所以25岁以下算是最佳年轻选手，可以穿这个白色衫。那刚刚另外提到有一个就是感斗赏嘛，就是过程中最努力的选手，他没有这个特别的衣服，可是他大会还是会让他上颁奖台，然后隔天他会有一个红色的号码布，表示他前一天是最努力的选手。 给集团造成最大的威胁。大概环法赛就跟其他的运动一样，也会分出不同的奖项，其他还有团队冠军，还有一些小的奖项。大家主要的看点呢，就会在看这4个黄衫、绿衫、红点衫跟白衫的争夺战。
So that's interesting. So each jersey represents something different. And you're saying the king of the mountain gets a pink polka dot jersey?
Right.
That doesn't quite seem to be the king jersey. You know, it should be maybe something different. But hey, that's another story. I'm also curious from what you're saying just now. It sounds like it's not just who's the quickest, but there's also different ways to make points.
Yes.
So how do we determine in the end who wins the Tour de France?
The winner will still count the yellow jersey. Counted by time is the really winner. But if we only have one winner, the race will become too boring. Of course, we have also stage winner. Like some sprinter, they can have a good skill to sprint. But when they sprint, it's all the bunch sprint is a big peloton together. But their time is same time. But for the yellow jersey, he wants to win the ranking, the overall, the time shortest. That means every stage he have to in front, especially a mountain stage. He cannot one stage performance very bad and suffering, struggling in the back, and he maybe lost 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then he out of the rank of the top 10, so no chance. So that means the yellow jersey is still the most difficult one. 黄衫选手还是最困难的，大家最关注的，因为他每天都要很努力的在前面。像平路冲刺站的时候，他可能可以跟在集团里面，他其实不用去冲，他可能还是很省力、很安全的完成这个赛段。但是呢，在爬坡他不能落后，只要落后个2-3分钟，他整个今年的3个礼拜的环法赛可能就跟前3名、前10名就脱离之后呢，要再回到这个黄山就非常的困难了。
Yeah, probably we can say that the Euro jersey is more like all-rounders. That you need to good at the time trial. There is another race style called a time trial. You need to good at the flat. You need to good at mountains. But the KOM is more like mountain climbing is fighting with the gravity. So normally this kind of the specific cyclist, he will be very skinny because if you are gain too much weight, it's not easy to climb very fast. And in terms of the physique of the sprinter, normally they are very muscular, they are very strong. So during the race, I can recommend that if you are new to the cycling world, there is the Netflix episode of the Tour de France. And it's easier for audience to understand and the Tour de France with the total of 8 episodes. And then you will know the basics of the cycling.
Okay, so 通常骑的可以爬比较高的，或者是可以爬高山最快的，通常都是比较偏瘦的选手，然后就是可以就是骑得越远越快的，那通常他们都是比较壮一点的。
对，冲刺型。
That's actually a very good tip for someone like me who has like I don't really know much about, but I do see the pictures a lot. Like I've always seen the yellow jersey, but I did not know the different classifications of the different jerseys. So that's good information to know. All right, then. When it comes to looking at the competitors or choosing which team to support, what kind of preparation do players have to go through in order to participate in the Tour de France?
Each team, they have 8 riders. Different team have different target, their goal. So maybe some team, they have only sprinter. They want to win stages. And then some team, they want to win the yellow jersey. So they have a different prepare. So normally each team have one guy we call GC guy. Is the guy is want to win the yellow jersey, and the other 2 is good in climbing. So maybe he can help the GC guy at the mountain stage, and the other we call domestic or some good sprinter also in this 8 people squad. So domestic always back to the team car and carry the water bottle and food and make the GC guy or sprinter don't need to move too much so they can save their energy. And the domestic, they carry all the water and the food from the back and back to the peloton and give to them. And when some flat stage, the sprinter have some helper we call lead out man. So the lead out man always lead the sprinter until the last 200 meters and let the sprinter full gas. to the finish line. So it's very tactic and different strategy in the bike race. So it's really hard to explain each team. Depends on the team's goal. So and their budget, they want to reach what level they want. So I think that's make the two difference very special and good to watch.
OK， 在每个团队里面的每一个选手，他们都必须要自己做好自己的准备，然后就最主要就是让整个团队可以冲前。Like so, it depends on like which goals each rider has.
对，就是每个车队也有每个车队的目的，有的车队他只想赢单站冠军，那他可能就会派一些冲刺选手，那这个车队的组成就会不太一样。但是有的车队他们是想赢黄山，所以他们就会派出总成绩全能型的选手。那这些都我们称为主将。主将来讲的话，就有帮助他们就是副将，所以有一些是像帮助要赢黄山的爬坡的时候，可能就会有2个爬坡副将。那要赢冲刺的，可能是在最后的时候，可能就有好几个平路帮他带路的。但是每个车队都会有的副将，就是我们叫水壶工，他们会退到这个选手集团的后面，就是车队的车上去拿食物啊、水啊，然后再回到集团。那这样的动作就是帮助主将去节省体力，所以主将就是在集团里面好好的省力骑好，在关键的时候可以发力。所以每个人有每个人不同的职责。
Okay, and how do you guys prepare on following the Tour de France this year? Like, how are you going to watch it? Are you going to meet up with friends? Are you guys going to have a party to prepare to watch it? 你们要怎么准备去看今年的 Tour de France?
Each year, because the race is 3 years, I think I have some key stage, so can share to our listener. So like stage 1 is also good. Most good stage at weekend. So very easy. You can hang around a pub, have a beer with friends. So to watch the race, like stage 1 is Saturday, and it's this year the very special Billboard. That normally the stage 1 is a flat stage, but this year they changed the totally have to climb in the elevation more than about 3,300 meters. So it's also very rolling, but big rolling. So that makes sprinter difficult, and it will make I think the yellow jersey very fighting start very early, and it's also good place, good stage to watch. So because normally the race day is a Monday, so every Saturday and Sunday, I think their stage is also very good. So I just prepare with hanging around with my friend and have beer to watch them suffering.
Yeah.
So 就是看周末的场次。
对，周末的站别都蛮好看的，就是一般来讲，他们都安排就是关键的站都会在休息日的前一天。那一般休息日都是礼拜一，所以呢，礼拜六跟礼拜天的站别大部分都蛮好看的。那今年来讲，就是第9站也是第1站跟第9站都蛮不错的，然后第15站还有第20站。这些站别都是比较特别的。
So stage 1, 9, 15, and 19.
20.
And
20 is the last
20.
change.
Okay. All right. Yes.
And one thing which I kind of found interesting, looking at the trivia for the Tour de France, it started out in 1903 as a gimmick by a newspaper.
Oh.
They wanted to sell more newspapers in Paris. And so by kind of creating this storytelling of the cyclists going through the hills and valleys of France, it created excitement that people wanted to read those stories and then buy the newspaper. And so you can see that today still, that the Tour de France is really kind of not just a competition, but it's kind of a story of people, competing against nature, competing against the geography of France and other countries. It's very interesting.
真的是挑战地理. Absolutely, it is a challenge to the geography.
地形非常挑战，像第17站，他们总爬升要超过海拔5000公尺，
哇，
就是上上下下这一站，然后中间还有一个最陡的坡是24%的上升的爬坡，所以到这个 level 应该要坐楼梯了，但是他们要骑脚踏车爬上去。
That is very intense， 感觉太激烈了。
That is amazing, but I think maybe it's time for us to wrap things up for today and kind of get to the fun part of the podcast, I hope, which we talk about your pet peeve or your cat's meow, something which you really like or maybe something which you really dislike about in English or new phrases or expressions. And since I kind of force this on everybody, I'll kick off again this week. And mine is a cat's meow. And originally I wanted to use a phrase to give somebody a buck. And I'm sure you three are all looking at me going, what? What does that mean?
Give a buck.
And I checked online. Yeah, and it's something which is only used from where I'm from in the States, from Minnesota. And it means to give someone a ride on your bicycle.
Oh.
Okay, so if you go to Minnesota and someone says they're going to give you a buck, it doesn't mean they're going to give you $1. It means they're going to give you a ride on their bicycle. But so instead, I'll use to hitch a ride. And so maybe if Paz, if you're in a hurry to get to the office and you see Uncle riding past on his bicycle, maybe ask him, can I hitch a ride with you? Okay. Or you can also, hitchhike when you try to get a ride with someone in their car. So that's kind of going to be my little cat's meow today, to hitch a ride, to go hitchhiking. But don't give a buck because then you'll be out of money. Paz?
All right. Well, it's a cat's meow. And the reason why it's a cat's meow is because I like the way the word sounds. And it's actually a word that Uncle used earlier. It's peloton. So peloton in Spanish, peloton. It's always been a word that I never quite understood what it was when I was younger. Like for me, peloton when I was younger is like, oh, it's like a giant ball because like pelota in Spanish means ball. So for me, every time I heard the word peloton, I always thought about, is it baseball related? But it turns out it's not. It's bicycle related. It's the main group or the main pack of bicyclists. So earlier when Uncle mentioned is like usually the sprinters or like the fastest riders, usually they will kick off as a peloton. They will kick off as a group instead. So that's my cat's meow for today because it's a fun word to say, peloton.
It is. It is. How about Alan or Uncle? Do you have something you want to share with us?
Yeah, in my opinion, I would say cycling. And cycling is more than just a simple activity. It's a work with passions. And there are many terms you can use to describe riding the bike. For example, it's just like biking, bicycling, or simply just pedaling. But in Taiwan or all over the world, if you say that you are cyclist or you enjoy cycling, it means that your life is loaded. I mean, the full loaded with the bicycle, with the training, the culture, and it all becomes a part of your lifestyle. Or in Taiwan, because Taiwan is the kingdom of the bicycle manufacturing. So I would say that both me and Greg, we are involved in the bicycle industry, so it becomes our career. Moreover, I would say the roots of cycle is very positive. It brings you the mind image of the round wheel. That's we need to pedaling. We need to continuously pedal and pedal to carry through our lives.
Yes, that's very good.
Thank you, Alan. How about Uncle? What do you want to share with us?
Okay, I would like to share the Grand Tour. Yeah, it's like two simple words, but it starts at, I think, 14th to 16th century. So it's from Europe and getting popular in 18th century in England. So that means big travel. Every people have try to have one grand tour for yourself and like big challenge. And you can see around the world or whatever. It's like Marco Polo and everything you can learn. In Chinese, we say 读万卷书不如行万里路. Okay, I think the Grand Tour is more like this. And in cycling, Grand Tour also have a highest honors mean. So hope you enjoy the July Tour de France. It's Grand Tour.
Sounds cool.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
And that was another great episode of ICRT's Breakdown, brought to you by the National Development Council and the Bilingual 2030, the Guofahui, to promote English and make Taiwan a more English-friendly environment. So I want to thank you guys again and join me online for this discussion. Paz.
Hello.
Thank you very much, Paz. And we also had two great guests joining us, Alan and Uncle. From what podcast was that again, Paz?
大叔爱轮事, Bike Talk. So if you want to learn more about bicycling and Taiwan's bicycle industry, make sure to tune in every week to 大叔爱轮事, Bike Talk with Uncle and Alan if you guys want to learn more about bicycling in Taiwan.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Breaking the ice, breaking the mold, breaking down the news. You've been listening to ICRT Breakdown, a bilingual 2030 policy program brought to you in association with the National Development Council.